Welcome back, GMs. Take a look at G1, Studying of the Hill Giant Chief. I got here the Darlene map of the world of Greyhawk, of showing the yeomanry and the Jotuns where the keep of, or where the steading is. And this is such a wonderful map. The world of Greyhawk's a really cool starting world for D&D, I think. And we're going to look at, I did a little bit more work on getting the steading ready on the upper levels from when we looked at this stuff yesterday. Got some characters being rolled up over here on the right. Going to be using the D20 Play RPG to run this one, which is equivalent to 1E D&D, a mix of that, my favorite parts of that, OSR, OSE, Shadow Dark, etc. So, and there's only going to be 5 players. So part of what I'm doing is getting it ready for 5 players, reducing the quantities and the treasures that are within it. But here is an overview of the whole place. Started doing the dynamic lighting for it and getting the tokens ready. I grabbed tokens for the Hill Giant for the Monster Manual. Nosnera here from the cover of the adventure. I got the orcs here, the slave orcs. And there's another version of the slave orc carrying a pail. Got that guy right there, carrying the pail. Got the giant matron and the giant cooks. I'll look for something else for Nosnera's wife to make that one different than the others. So this is with my reduced quantities, basically multiplying everything by 55%, 5 out of 9, because the adventure is done for 9th level characters, and I'm only going to be running with 5. And you can see it's still jam-packed full of giants. But when you get out to the rest of the place, there's not much around, right? So the party's going to be able to sneak all around this place. A couple of drunk giants guarding the front doors. The party can kind of climb in most locations through the rafters and the roofing, cut a hole through that and climb in that way. They can try and come in through the yard where the wolves are. That's going to be difficult, but really no one's going to come to the wolf's aid. No one through that door is going to hear anything. This place is all abandoned right now. All the giants are at the feast. This place up here is one giant who might come to their aid, and he'll be trying to show his bravery in front of the giantesses that are in that room, and won't call for help until it's probably too late for him. So the party certainly can come that way as well. Then this place has this faction of orcs that have gone into the underground area. So if the party can befriend them, that's going to help them tremendously. The greatest info the party can find is a map hidden amongst this lumber here of the giant raids from Aclavdra, and showing a symbol. And I had spoken a little bit about Greyhawk Grognard last time we were together, so I started just taking a peek at some of his stuff. He's got Q2, a replacement for Q1, so he redid the last adventure. Q1 kind of really felt out of place, right, because it was written by a different writer than Gary Gygax. So I'll take a look at this if I make it to the end of the campaign like that. And then he's got this here, the Steading of the Hill Giant Chief, the lower caverns. So we'll see how there's this weird temple down there with a flight of stairs that goes down that's just caved in. This is an idea of what you can put down there should the party get through that cave in and go down the various sinkholes that are in the areas controlled by the orcs, for example. Kind of a neat little expansion to the Hill Giant adventure. And I think this one, I believe, is free. Yeah, that one's a free resource. Q2 is a free resource. He's got D4, City of the Spiders, another free resource. So I'll be definitely looking at that, looking at some of his videos too before I run this adventure. Let's take a look at the adventure. So here we are in the adventure. Here's the cover for G1. We're going to be going into the dungeon level now. And this place, it says it will be evident from merely descending the stairs that, and observing the walls, that the masonry work is quite good, certainly superior to orcish work, except in a few places. So who did that? Something to think about as a DM, something the party might, go and ask sages about or trying to research about, find out who the original manufacturers of this place were. So we're gonna be using maps. Here's the Steading of the Hill Giant Chief from Dungeon Magazine by Chris Perkins. This was a really good redo of the adventure for 4th edition. I thought they handled it really well. Nice picture of the steading. Kind of shows the misty land around. This place is all sodden and wet from rain and mist and won't catch fire. And here's the dungeon level. It's got the mysterious temple, not quite as expansive. The manticores are replaced with a dragon. We'll have the crazy manticores, I think, and keep it in this one. But we're going to use the maps by John Pintar. So let's do that first. Let me just fit this to the screen. There we go. So now we're looking at Roll20 again. And I'm going to bring over the John Pintar map. Now, when you bring over a map in Roll20, go to the map layer, kind of zoom in, otherwise it might scale it differently for you. And I'll bring over Pintar's map. Good morning, everyone who's joined. Thanks for joining. The browser has lost connection to my screen share audio. I don't think I have audio on the screen, so let me know if you can't hear things. It should be okay. Okay, so we got that. I'm going to pan it over here. That's as far as it'll pan because the map's not big enough, so I'm going to go change the map to a bigger size. Right, that's 90. That was with that one. I'm going to make it 180, see what we get. While it's thinking. Well, while that's thinking, let's look at some other stuff here. So in the World of Greyhawk, the full map of the World of Greyhawk, everything takes place to the southwest. Starting off in the Jotuns, northwest of the Yeomanry, and then heading off into the Crystal Mist Mountains, and then down into the Hell Furnaces for the Fire Giants. And then all the Underdark that sits below all of that. I'm try to reload my screen here. See if that'll get that back. So let's look at the wandering monsters while that's loading. The non-natural areas, all the worked areas 1 and 12, so pretty low risk, really low chance in the other areas. Some ogres seeking some orcs. The keeper and his pet out inspecting. 12 orcs with heavy crossbows, 2 poison bolts out raiding for food. Otherwise, you're going to find some subterranean lizards or some carrion crawlers coming up from the sinkholes below. Here we go. Made it back. Share this tab instead. No audio problems in this end. Hey, Robert, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the report. Okay, so let's fit this to the screen and see what we get. And that's on the map layer. So here is that map. I know we have the gate right here, so I might leave a little bit of room between the maps because there could be a fight spill out outside of the keep or outside of the steading. So I'll make it over there maybe. Now there's 2 ways down. You got a flight of stairs here, and you got a flight of stairs over here, and this is the ones that the party will know of. I'm going to change the lighting here so everything's lit up for us too. There we go. Okay, and first things first, let's go through this guy and key all the rooms. We'll know what rooms we're looking at. Okay. So for that, I'll go to the GM layer and change my text to white. and 72 in bold. We got this main entry room. We got the room of the keeper, I think. Then jail cells over here. A whole bunch of bugbear barracks over here. There's a bunch of bugbears in this lower level. All employed, I believe, by the giants to hunt down orcs. And then some empty rooms over here. Might be for bigger prisoners. We'll see when we get to it. Some workshops over here. Or storage. They have W in front of them. Bugbear guards. Okay, so this must be more prisoners. Then this is the forge. There'll be a fire giant in there. Narrow passageways for fire giants. And then this down here, I think, are... Maybe this is the fire giant. We'll see here. 15. 16. 17 is the passageway to the strange temple. Then the strange temple itself is 17A. And then this is the passage that goes down to where you can expand it to below the steading using Greyhawk Grognard's stuff. Here's where the orcs will be. And in the redo in 4th edition, the orcs are kind of mostly replaced with a roper and some dwarven slaves. Sinkholes that can get you down to lower levels. The river that passes through that you can, there's a potion water breathing in here, so where you can grab that and go on down the river. That's a spell I don't think I have in my system yet. Water breathing. That'd be a good spell to add. Or that'd be a good thing for a ranger maybe to have as a herbalism thing. Whole bunch of expansive areas that they're trying to excavate. Looks like a barrack for giants. We'll see when we get there. Then the manticores are somewhere around here. And it describes there being a connection to the kitchen above. I wonder if that connection is big enough for an adventurer to get down. That'd be another passageway down to these lower levels. And then this is a little secret passageway into the treasure room. And finally, the real treasure room. Okay. This is a flight of stairs, so I might go back and edit the map. Looks like he missed that in the map. That'd be easy to do. I'll just be able to take this, copy it, flip it, put it up there in Photoshop. No problem. Okay, here we got all our levels. So let's start out in level 1 here. Oh, let me zoom out. We'll do 1 through 8. Pretty good. And now we'll switch over to Word. Just get Microsoft Word set up here for us. Go. I'll stop that screen and present Word. Roll 20. Okay. There we go. So you're seeing the Microsoft Word file that I have where I do all my adventuring work, all my creation, and therefore I always have copies of stuff. Steading of the Hill Giant Chief. We did level 1 yesterday, key to the upper level here. So we'll do level 2 now. Starting here, key to the dungeon level. That was heading 4. No, 3 for that one. Yeah, I'll blow that out. There we go. So we'll make all the subheadings first. Oh, and I need to bring in the picture. Let's do that right here. So it'll come in okay. There we go. And then the upper level, I had my notes about numbers. That's where I'm going to put that picture. There we go. I can drag that down to here. Okay, I'll delete that one. Marshalling Chamber of the Keeper's cell block. Bunch of different cells. 4 through 8 is all bugbear quarters complex. So one general note up above, and then one for each area with specific creatures in it. Chamber of the Bugbear Captain is 7. More bugbear guards. Slave quarters 9 through 11. Whole bunch of slaves. Oh, okay, so those big rooms are just a lot of orcish slaves. Unruly slaves. More orcs. Highly anxious to attack their captors. Good morale. Fair morale. Very poor morale for some of them. They won't fight too hard. Torture chamber. Armory and smithy. The passage to the secret temple. The weird abandoned temple. The vestry. And the weird abandoned temple. The natural cavern. Oh, there's a bunch of troglodytes down here. I forgot about the troglodytes down here. A whole bunch of them. Then there's those giant lizards down there. Forgot about those guys. You can find, it looks like the carrier crawling cavern, all sorts of weird treasure. Okay, we'll go back up to the top and start going room by room here. So room 1 you come to is the marshalling area, this big open area coming down these flight of stairs here. You'll have a big hallway to the right, halls out other directions, rooms to 2, room to 3, room to 4. So a whole bunch of guys can get in here in a hurry. You could be in deep trouble soon. Primary men is the place where slaves are rounded up and sent about their tasks under guard. It is also for the rebels of the other dungeon crew when off duty. So we got a few smoky torches burning along the walls. Benches and tables are pushed out of the way against the walls. Floor blackish stone. Much worn by the tread of countless feet. And that's it. Just description. Okay, then room 2. The Chamber of the Keeper. Right here. The Keeper is a ghastly little giant, hunchback, twisted, with but one good eye, thoroughly wicked and evil, strong and remorseless. He has 2 pet carnivorous apes, and both are in his lair, one guarding to the north of the door, the other on the platform built above it. Then we're back to the Keeper. Ooh, he's got +3 battle axe. So I'll put that with him. And then his room, this will be the description of the room, it could be the first thing. The room has many skittins on the floor, a bed, table, chairs, boxes, several crates and barrels, a chest, and odds and ends of armor, weapons, furniture, tipware, and so forth. None has any value. Loose stone. So if the party searches, they can find a loose stone on the floor that hides his treasure. And a large earthenware jug, which holds 4. Ooh, nice. 4 potions of water breathing. So he has treasure there, the Keeper, the room. That's that one. Then we got the cell block in room 3. Right here. 5 cells. What do you bet one of these has a creature that will double cross the party? In the outer guard room are 2 bugbear guards. So we have that. Armed with morning stars. If not engaged immediately, they will raise an alarm by striking a large brass gong near the door. So put that in the description. And 2 bugbear guards armed with morning stars not engaged immediately, they will raise an alarm by striking the gong. If they are prevented from doing this and are faced by an obvious superior enemy, they will direct the opponents to cell 4. See below. Smite the armor flee. So then more descriptions here. So the room contains a table, stools, torches, and keys. 1, 2, 3, 4. No key to 4, huh? Interesting. I wonder if that's on purpose. And then the gong will be second to that. And is the gong in the picture here? Don't see it. There's a table, 2 chairs, large brass gong near the door, I think it said. Near the door, okay. Then we got the bugbears. Now we got the cells. And these, I should actually give them their own headings. And 2 needs its own heading. There we go. So then this will be 3I, 3 double I. I'll make these heading level 5, so they'll be below the cell block heading. So what do we got in these cells? We got a human prisoner, a merchant, now quite insane. Human prisoner and engineer kept alive to help with the excavation of new areas of the dungeon. Cannot aid rescues, but will take service. Elf fighter magic user, 5th and 8th levels, no spells, wounded from torture. Chained to the wall. He will serve with any character of good alignment for 1 year after rescue. So there's a retainer for sure. Trap. 3 skeletons, each wearing a brass ring with a glass gem. Claim that they have been instructed to keep these skeletons safe, as there's something magical about them. No key to the cell to back up their tail. The 3 skeletons spring to attack with swords, bruises, and carved. That's not much of a trap. 3 skeletons for 7th level characters. Oh man, that's tiny trap. I might make those like really powerful skeletons, some other type of skeleton, but interesting. And so what can you see from the room? You see 3 skeletons, and those will be the monsters too. So put them in their own level. That's the monsters. You see the 3 skeletons from the door, each wearing a brass ring with a gem. And the rings are worthless. Maybe worth 1 gold piece each. The bugbear guards will claim. So that should be up here. So 5. Copy that up there. Something magical. No key to cell. Okay, then that part is the skeletons. Oops. Bring it back to the skeletons. As soon as the cell door is open, the skeletons spring to attack. All right. And then 5. The large cell at the end. Large cell with 5 captured orc rebels. I should do a find here. Replace that just within this section. space or space, space orc, space. Okay, should be done. Where did my Word file go? There we go. And back to the subblock. Okay, so we got 5 captured orc rebels. Very willing to help any creature, promising them escape from the toils of the giants. They'll lead the party to the orcs if they wish, and we'll see them safely past the guards if they can handle the bugbear. Okay, the bugbear complex. So I will make these rooms each individually described. And so room 4 will be bugbears. Each room seems like it has the same. A few torches and braziers burning. Stools, small crates, like where this person belongs. Okay, so that's like the description of each room. Put that there, get rid of this, and that's 4 through 8. And then shrink this down a little bit. A few torches and braziers burning. Hides and skins on walls and floors. Straw and similar litter mounded for bedding. A few stools, small crates, boxes, and the like. So I'll just say, and other odds and ends. And everyone will be the same like that. Then area 4, I'm not, you'll notice I'm not updating the numbers right yet. I'm gonna come back and do that in one fell swoop, do them all together. So that is area 4. And those are gonna be all the same pretty much. Area 5, area 6, 8, and 7. We'll come back to that in a second here. So there's area 4. Area 5 has, oops, that's 4. Okay, that's 5. This one has 12 bugbears asleep. Then 6 has 12 bugbears also asleep. And then 7, Chamber of the Bugbear Captain. So let's take a look at this here. So we did 4, 5, 6. Here's the Chamber of the Captain. There's 8, so going to be a guard room there. All right. Chamber of the Captain. Five bugbears. The captain and 4 lieutenants. Crude table. Drinking ale. Plan to wipe out the orcs in area 19. The captain attacks as an ogre and is equal to armor class 4, doing +2 damage, +1 to hit. All these bugbears have bastard swords. Lieutenants have some gold. So, and that's going to be treasure. Just taking a second to save. It'll take quite a second to save with 3,000 pages. Okay, 5 bugbears. So let's make that 4. And then bugbear captain. And then bugbear times 4. And the captain's got 31 10 gold piece gems. 10 10 GP times 31. And the ladder hidden in a pouch under his armor. Lieutenants each have, the captain has that plus. So he's going to have whatever the lieutenants have. The lieutenants have 20 to 80 gold pieces each. So 2D, that'd be 2D4. Average would be 50. So 50 GP times 4. The captain will have 50 GP of his own. And this will be hidden. So let's see, hidden where? Hidden in a pouch under his armor. There we go. Okay, so there's a crude table in here. A few torches, braziers burning, hides and skins on the floors and walls. Put a crude table there with ale. In mugs. There we go. Okay, now the last room. This place has a few torches, a table, and they are armed with. That's funny. So orcs is wrong and R is orc. That's great. These alert fellows are ready for an attack. One always is in the south watching. Got it. And there's 6 bugbears. No treasure. The only ones that have treasure are the ones by the captain. Bugbear times 6. 1 watching. Okay. Now we have the good behavior slave area. Those are down below. So let's skip 9, 10, 11, go to 12, 13, and 14. This is probably the bad behavior. Each one's got a bugbear guard in front of them. 12 to 14, slave quarters unruly. Note positions have 1 bugbear guard each. Almost it needs an outer chamber description. So we'll do 12A guards. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that'll be bugbear times 4. And then 12 will be the first chamber, and they'll probably all be the same here. Got the guards, hand axe, point star, constant alert, watching, barred gate. 1, 2, 3 be 3 barred gates. Through which the bugbears can see with portals, with windows. Each set of bars secured by lock. 3 barred gates. By lock and chain. Chambers are unlit, having only scanty straw and are quite noisome with orc odor. So that's the description of the slave quarter. There we go. And in 12, we got 48 orcs. And then the rest should be the same. 12, 13, 14, all the same. (13 and 14). So you got a huge contingent of orcs. Pretty good morale on these guys. Very good morale on these guys. So that's quite the number of orcs that you could have fighting against. And they can take all the arms and armor from the bugbears if you can kill those. And send these orcs up to do much damage to the giants. Okay, so there's those rooms. What else can we do on the same map? We do the torture room, 15, and then we'll skip to, then we'll do the lower levels next. In fact, let's grab those next. So I go to 15 and down. And I can, yeah, that'll be good. Okay. Let's grab an updated map. Paste that there. That's good. Drag this down here to just above 8. Okay, now we're going to do the good behavior slave quarters, 9 through 11. There's only one bugbear on guard, I think, outside. These areas save a few smoky torches on the walls. This area half? Must have been half. A few smoky torches on the walls and moldy straw strewn on the floor. Some benches are built into the walls. Each door is barred from the outside with a heavy iron rod. So we'll do the same thing. We have 9, again, guards or barred doors. So 3 doors, each barred from outside with a heavy rod. There we go. And that'll be 9A. And then we'll have 9 through 20 through 11. So we got a few smoky torches on the walls, moldy straw strewn on the floor, some benches built into the walls. We already know the doors are barred. And the first one's got 24 unruly orcs. And the other 2 are the same, just with different numbers of orcs. 30 and 24, so very poor morale. These ones are not going to fight against the giants in any significant way. We did 12. Now we're going to skip to 15, the torture chamber. Let me drag that numbers down. 15. So that's this chamber here. Got a rack, got Iron Maidens, got cages, got all sorts of horrible stuff. So here we go. Contains various implements for torturing prisoners large and small. Iron Maiden, 2 racks. Thumb screws, iron boots, chains, whips, branding irons, strapados, etc. There we go. A fire pit in the center of the room gives it a hellish light. This has drawn with 2 fire pits, not in the center of the room. Fire pits. Fire pits. Give it all a hellish light. 2 dozing hill giants. Okay. Behind the large rock in the north. Large rock in the north. Maybe rack in the north? Behind the large rack in the north. One with the gold chains of fireable. Okay, so here we go. We got 2 giants, and then we got some treasure on them. Gold chains set with fireable. 2,000 gold. Just one has that. 2,000 gold. And I'll assume they don't damage it. There we go. That's the torch chamber. You could put any or some of the prisoners in there being tortured. Armory and smithy. So this narrow passageway leads down to this armory and smithy for the giants, and the giants are, marauding. So this place should be busy all the time. And in here we have fire giants. Wow. So fire giants got to squeeze down that narrow passageway. Here are stacks of giant arms and armor. I don't need to say it, here are. So stacks of giant arms and armor in states of repair or fabrication. Fabrication. In the area first entered, so yeah, this big inventory, we might break these down into different, and I wouldn't read this, at least not the numbers. A bit further on are some helmets balanced on shields and propped up by 6 each warhammers and maces, and if these are touched, the whole will fall with a clatter to warn the armor and smith of trouble. These 2 are fire giants. Immediately raise and shout and come to fight. They are by the forges and bellows in the eastern section of the area. There are 7 dwarves chained here, forced to labor making weapons. 6 of the latter are useless to the party, being intent only on immediate escape, but one is an 8th level fighter. Will serve the party as long as he gets a treasure share equal to his level and a chance to fight giants. Fire giants each have a sack filled with 4,000 gold. Wow. Okay, so there's that, and then the giants got treasure. Times 2. There we go. So you could have found a whole bunch of orcs, an elven fighter match user, and now a dwarven fighter. That will help you. This would be in addition to having 9 adventures as recommended for the adventure. So here we go. Passage 2, 17A. Now we come to the weird temple. So here's the, first of all, I got a barricade here, which didn't really talk about. So I might add a description for that and what denizens are both sides. Then you got this barricaded door down to this weird temple. Let's look at the temple. Blocked by stones. So I don't know what works about it, but there are piled, finished and rough stones before a door. A door. The wooden door itself is bound with moldering bands of bronze, and a heavy bronze bolt secures it. Then you have the corridor beyond, which is disused, dusty, and reeks disgustingly. Then you get to the weird temple. This room is, okay, so faintly glowing purplish green stone carved with disturbing shapes and signs. This, I have to introduce otherwise. We seem to stare out from the walls and columns. I guess that's part of the first thing. To shift position when the watcher's back is turned, so that would be described kind of separately. Touching the wall, so that'll be if someone does that. Makes one chilled, and contact with a pillar causes the one touching it to become nauseous. The far end of the temple is an altar of pale. I didn't know there's an altar there. And altar pale, yellow, gray, translucent stone. Touch altar. There's so many things in this room. It's tough when they do this where it's like all mixed together and you don't see what happens when they touch certain things. So I always like to break it out, put it with bold, with anything that the party does in bold or could do. So if they touch the wall or touch a wall, contact a pillar, could be touches again. and then touch altar. This is part of the description, so I need to put this up there. This will be another action on the party. Turn back on wall. Forms seem to shift. There we go. So I got just pure description, and actions that can happen. Touching the altar feels greasy to the touch. You just touched it, so it just feels greasy. No other effect. You have more description. Behind the altar is a flight of low, uneven steps which lead to an alcove with a concave back wall of purplish black, glassy appearing substance. Another if. So then we got stand before this wall, and gaze upon it for 1 round. So that's an action that you could take if you were foolish. I'm gonna have to define a better black wall. Stand before black wall and gaze upon it for 1 round. Faintly glowing purplish green stones. These will all be the green walls. And the altar is yellow-gray. Carved stone shapes and signs seem to stare out from the walls and columns. So they're called columns above. Might as well call them columns here. And they're green like the walls. Okay. So turn back on green wall, touch green column, touch yellow-gray altar. Stand before black wall and gaze upon it for 1 round. A writhing amorphous form of sickly mauves and violets will be seen, stretching its formless members toward the viewer. The sight causes the creature seeing it to have a 50% chance of becoming insane. Not great. Let's make that a saving throw then to become insane. And it'll be a will save. A 50% chance of a will save is about DC 10, right? Although it would be, by making a 50% chance, it doesn't matter how good you are at resisting that. I think will's good. Who might look into that wall, and who could go insane? So it could be a wizard looking into the wall, trying to gain some wizardly insight. So that'd be intelligence. I don't think a bard would have much reason to do it, but charisma is like kind of self-will too, so that'd be a good reason for charisma. And a priest seeking a dark god could be looking in. That'd be wisdom. I'm gonna make an intelligence save. Give the wizard the best chance here. And anyone with low intelligence could go insane. So let's do a DC 12 intelligence save. Negate. If the creature does not go insane, a touch upon the curving wall will cause a scarab of insanity to appear upon the altar for the first one so doing, and a 5,000 gold piece gem next to it. So I'll have to define what a scarab of insanity does. And a gem. What does this gem look like? It doesn't describe it at all. The wall that it comes out of, the altar that it's on, we'll say it's a purplish black gem, like the wall's coming from. Purplish black, glassy gem. 5,000 gold. What does a Scarab of Insanity do? First edition D&D. Let's look that up just for fun. So let me stop that screen, go back to my PDFs here. STEADING, share, Scarab of Insanity. So that's going to be Dungeon Master's Guide. Do I have a copy of that? I think I do. Good morning if you're watching. We're going through the adventure Steading of the Hill Giant Chief, which I'm going to be running next weekend for the D20 Play RPG. Characters being rolled up now. I think we have a full table, but if you're interested in playing, let me know still, and I'll add you to the alternate list. Also, Tuesday, I'm doing an adventure from a new source book coming out, Labyrinth, The Devoured Labyrinth, which has a whole bunch of short adventures in it for Shadowdark. And I'll be running it with D20 Play RPG, but given that it's written for Shadowdark, that's like a 1-to-1 conversion almost. And you can really convert it on the fly to, I think, any system, and the adventures look like they're really cool. I'm running that Tuesday night on the, 29th, and that one's also full, but if you want to sign up, I'll add you as an alternate for that one too. Where do we go? Looking for the Dungeon Master's Guide. That'd be, yeah. There's my player's handbook. There it is. Let me share this tab instead. That work. Boom, there it is. It's got the reprint cover. I can't believe they didn't do that with the 50th edition or 50-year anniversary too. They missed some opportunities. So let's find a Scarab of Insanity. And what did that do in old D&D? Do they have a good index here? Oh, they do. Nice. Well done. Treasure. Miscellaneous magic. Miscellaneous magic. Nice. Okay, let's find a Scarab of Insanity. Scarab of Death. Scarab of Insanity. This scarab is absolutely indistinguishable from any other amulet, brooch, or scarab. When displayed and a command word is spoken, all other creatures within a 2-inch radius must save versus magic at -2. Those who only save are completely insane for 9 to 12 rounds. Unable to cast spells or use reasoning of any sort. Treat as a confusion spell with no chance of acting in a non-confused way. 9 to 16 turns. That's powerful. Did in first edition they give values for items? Or like indication of rarity? Let's see here. I can't recall. Random treasure determination. Here we go. Yeah, they do. Experience point value. I thought they did. So these things are in any alphabetical order. They look like they're alphabetical. Scarab of Insanity. 1,500. Same as Robo Useful Items. Nowhere near a Robo Arc Magi. Slightly better than Aerobic Climbing. So they're calling it kind of like an uncommon, maybe to rare. Although they vary quite a bit to how that useful they were back then versus how useful they are in like 5th edition, for example. Which is, here's the various tomes. Interesting that they were slightly different in value, XP value. Okay. So I was looking up Scarab of Insanity. I wanted to know what it did. Interesting. It's like a blast, a confusion spell. And it's got limited number of charges. So I'll be adding that to the game. And so let's go back to the Word file. And also, let me do this. Let's do a poll. Okay, so we have this. Here we go. So, have you ever played or run in GE2 or G1, that is? Have you ever run? Let's see if you, how many dungeon masters we have here. Have you ever run G1? If so, in chat, win. Boom. Let me know. Have you ever run G1? And when was it? What year was it? I think the first year I ever ran it was probably around 80, 81. When did it come out? Would it come out right near there? I'm pretty sure. Okay. Let's get back to the Word file. Roll 20. Here we go. Okay. Should be seeing that. Yeah. We're up to the weird abandoned temple and all the crazy things you can do in it. Will a party do that? And did your party ever do that? I'd be interested to hear if anyone had any experience with parties doing this. I can't remember any of my parties ever doing this. I certainly remember them getting to this room in, I believe, the 4th edition version. And let's go look at that next. But let me finish this first. So you got those 2 treasures that could appear. Let me just finish off what this room would look like since it's so cool. So, faintly glowing purplish green stone, carved with disturbing shapes and signs which seem to stare out from the walls and columns. Altar of pale yellow-gray translucent stone. Behind the altar is a flight of low, uneven steps which lead to an alcove with a concave back wall, a purplish-black, glassy-appearing substance. So you can touch things and things happen. You can stand before the wall and peer into it. The form might make you insane if you make that saving throw. And how long do you become insane? Is it forever? I think in the adventure, that's it for you. So then we have the vestry, which is right above, right outside here. I didn't number it, but it's this area right here with the rubble in it. So that vestry looks like the visible walls of this place bear faint traces of disgusting murals and bas-relief depictions of nasty things. A flight of ridged, step-like stones slants steeply downwards toward the south, completely blocked by tons of stone blocks and rubble. So that's the end of the place. Let's take a quick peek first at Greyhawk Grognard's version of that, where it extends. Here we go. Let me share this one, share this tab instead. Hey, Adam Pender, greetings. Thanks for dropping by. Did you ever run? We got a yes. We got 100% yes so far on the votes for having run it. Let us know if you've run this adventure and about when it was in the chat. Okay, that should be sharing. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so let's look at how this place looks in Perkins' rewrite. See if we want to steal anything from here. When the characters enter the area, the walls of this collapsed corridor, so you got the corridor gets a little bit more description. Figures clad in violet robes, marching solemnly toward the temple, tentacles protruding from their robes where the legs should be. Then the room itself, the dark room, is strangely free of dust and lined with green stone veined with purple, 4 pillars to resemble knots of tentacles that unfurl and spread across the vaulted ceiling. That's cool. I might steal that. Empty alcoves line the north and south walls. An altar of translucent yellow stone stands at the far end of the room. Behind the altar is a deep alcove with a concave back wall made of glassy violet stone. You see a monstrous form reflected in its surface, and then you realize that the reflection is yours. Okay, so then here's the trap. The Wall of Madness. When a character goes behind the altar, this concave violet wall draws your eye, and as you gaze into its reflected surface, an amorphous form with writhing black tentacles appears within. You suddenly feel the urge to do something terrible. Bearing the altar on the eye symbol, scar touches the altar. The scar disappears from the character's flesh. Where do they get that? I missed where they get that at. Here we go. The altar then disgorges 1,000 gold piece gem. But the Wall of Madness. You can make some arcana checks. The character discerns the wall's link to the far around. The character concludes that standing close to the wall, such as in any space beyond the altar, might trigger a trap. Not native to this world. And here's the triggered action. Move within 2 squares of the wall. A raised scar shaped like an inverted equilateral triangle inscribed with a Y. Okay, so there's where we got that. Whose branches touch the sides of the triangle. The symbol of the LMLI appears in a random location on the triggering creature's body, usually on the forehead. Strong urge to touch the altar. Dominate. Attacking nearest creature. So going insane and attacking others. Third failed saving throw. Overcome by madness drops to 0. So that's it. That is how it's done there. And then let's look at G1A. There we go. Ran it once, Adam says, as per GDQ. And in GDQ, Queen of the Spiders. I forget what year that came out. I remember the hair being late 80s hair on the people drawn on the cover. Seems how that's when I went to high school. Okay, so looking here at Greyhawk Grognard's Joseph Block's version of this. So we got a whole bunch of fungus and mechanoids, Rebel Orc Underclave, Tentacle Chamber, Mosaic Room, Chamber of the Eye, and here's that symbol. Inlaid in copper into the center of the floor is a large symbol some 20 feet across. Originally, this was a teleportation device to another center of the cult, but the destination has long since been obliterated. Cross the outer triangle, developed in a translucent ray of purplish hue. Lasts for 2 rounds, and the first those within will feel a slight burning sensation, but nothing harmful. After that, you'll take damage. Or be teleported to a random spot on the surface, 1d4 miles distant. A great puff of smoke emerges. And what's in the mosaic room? Let's look at where the mosaic room is. So you come down the stairs into 4, 2, and 3. And then 7, 6, 7, 8 are over there. So 3 is the big chamber. Yeah. 4 is the chamber of the eye. That's right here in the middle. So you're going to come right into that. And then you have some drow spies here. That's cool. Keeping up with the giants. This is a pretty interesting little addition. So I'm going to read a little bit more of that. Maybe I'll do a third prep video and prep this part of the adventure. Let's go back to sharing the adventure. There we go. This temple shows it is to be linked with Temple of Elemental Evil. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. So let's zoom in on that room here. I like the description of the pillars being tentacles that like spread out when they hit the ceiling. That's pretty cool. And I might come in here and color this even brighter or more sickly colors. So that's that. That is the temple that they can run into. Okay, so then we are going to look at 19 here, and 20 and 21. So these are where the orcs have gone. Then you can take this river to get to 23, where you'll be like carrion crawler heaven, I think, in there. That's not going to be fun. 22, 24 up there. So let's look at 19, 20, 21. Here we go. So we got the Rita Bennett Temple, Vestry. Those are done. Natural Cavern, Troglodyte Cavern, and Lizard's Lair. Troglodytes are actually in a place where they can face the orcs without having to go anywhere. You got a cistern, got a cavern in the carrion crawlers. So we saw all those. Let's look at those now. Natural Cavern. Place is part of a large area of natural caves and caverns which the ancient builders of the dungeon came upon. It's now inhabited by 78 escaped orcs. 78. Wow. Rebels against the hill giants, for whom the place is a sanctuary. CG above. The orcs are armed with clubs, as the various cast-off weapons. Armed with clubs, axes, daggers, various cast-off weapons, although there are 7 crossbows among them. Three leader types. 12 guards with great strength. 63 others with 5 hit points. Obtain food from raids, supplemented by fungus found in the subterranean cave, which is entered through the sinkhole in the southwest of the cavern. Okay, so that'd take you down to the thing Greyhawk Grognar did if you go down that sinkhole in the southwest of the cavern. So that's bottom right of 19 there. They have an uneasy truce with the troglodytes. Trade food to those creatures for water. The total of their treasure is, approached in a non-hostile manner, they will become agreeable if fighting against the bugbears and giants is mentioned. Okay. Where do they keep all that hoard of treasure at? Search find various treasure stashes. Boy, if you're going after this treasure, you're spending a lot of resources for not a lot of gain, fighting a whole lot of orcs, who you could be using to fight against the giants. A few silver, a few coppers. But 78 total orcs, all that can fight. 3 leaders, 12 guards, 63 others. There's no real description of this cavern at all. A large natural cavern with various campfires, bedding, refuse, etc. With various campfires, bedding, food scraps, refuse, etc. There we go. That's the description. Whole bunch of orcs, some treasure. Troglodyte Cavern, the one to the north. Small tribes of trogs are forced to dwell here. Small tribe. So there's 20 males, 13 females, 7 young. Being trapped between the orcs in 19 and the lizards in 21. Where did those lizards get their food? There's a sinkhole, so they get out of there. The leader's got some gold. For those are 7 100 and 250 gold piece gems amongst the other males. Okay. Gem 100 times 7. Gem 50 times 2. They are regarded as holy things by the Trogs. And any creature touching the gems will be savagely attacked. Gems treated as holy by Trogs. There we go. No description of that chamber. Let's see if we get a look from the map what it should look like. Let's go ahead and do a new area of the map, the northeast up there. Just looking at the pictures. Kind of the same thing, but maybe less refuse and such as the orcs. So some nests, some spears. Yeah, let's just do that. So the Troglodytes have also a large natural cavern with various nests, spears, and shrooms growing. There we go. The lizard lair, that's just a big natural cavern. Made a pair of exceptionally old and large subterranean lizards have chosen the spot, grotto probably, to the spot to raise their 4 young. Constructed for ways to hunt and devour troglodytes or orcs, but their main hunting ground is a series of caves beneath their own sinkhole. They are without treasure. So just a large natural cavern smelling of lizard. And somewhere I played these things up as if they were dragons, I think, or maybe I'm thinking of the Drow Adventure, or one of the Drow Adventures. Okay, that's that. Now we'll do the northeast chambers. We're 50-50 on the voting for if you've run this before. And if you have run it before, let us know when. I'm running this one next weekend. Back to my Word file. Put that, paste that there. I'll move it there, actually. Then move this down. Okay. The carrion crawler chamber, here we go. 23. You can get to that one by the river. You could come up through sinkholes in the floor if you're exploring the levels below. And all carrion crawlers in the whole complex of caves and caverns come to this area from time to time to breed. So not a good place to be. A litter of bones has built up from the prey. These creatures have dragged here to devour at their leisure. So just a litter of bones. All sorts of bones, human and otherwise, are heaped and piled here and there. Just save that. Seldom does any other sort of creature venture into this space, for any that do usually end up by adding their bones to the litter. There are 2 crawlers in the northeast finger of the cavern. Every turn, there's a 30% chance that 1 to 3 more of the monsters will appear from the north or south along the stream or by one of the sinkholes. Every turn, 30% chance. So that's on average going to be 3 turns. That'd be every half hour. So I'll do 10 and 20 every 15 minutes. That 1 to 3 or more appear. There's treasure in the place, but it will take 3 persons to search a 10 by 10 space area in 1 turn. We can find a lot of carrion crawlers. We can find some cool stuff. Look at that. But it will take 3 persons to search 10 by 10 square on 1 turn. Each area thoroughly checked might discover some treasure. And treasure by the place, 3 persons search 10 by 10. All right. Really? 10 minutes to search 10 by 10 area for 3 of you? Seems a little harsh. And then random treasure. So how many total areas are there? And unfortunately, this map is in 5 by 5s. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I'm looking at the original big maps. There's 1710 squares tall. The average width, 1, 2, not excluding river, 1, 2, we'll say 3. Because it's very, in some places, less than that. So 17 times 3. So you have 51 turns, 51 opportunities with a check every turn. So I need to change this to every area. And it will take 1 turn per person per 10 feet. There are 51 total. So 5 characters would take 10 turns. With a 30% chance per turn of something showing up, you're probably going to fight 3 waves of carrion crawlers, 1 to 3 each. And then you get to roll randomly, which is always fun on the treasure tables. And you get all sorts of cool stuff. And that's that room. Now we're going to look at the storage room. There. Oh, I think I skipped the cistern. Partially cleared passage to cistern. The well-like chamber at the end of the broad passage is filled with a deep pool of water. How would you know it's deep? Dark liquid is cool and wholesome to drink. You would not know that until you touched it. Drink. You know it's dark liquid. The chamber, don't need that. Broad passage, don't need that. Pool of dark water is what the party will see. If they drink it, it is cool and wholesome to the touch. Cool and wholesome to drink. Nothing dwells in it. Emergency water supply from several spouting springs which come through the holes in the wall. Rangers should be able to look at this and tell if it's safe to drink too. 14 feet deep, at the bottom is a small outlet large enough for a man to pass through. A finished stone, obviously man-made if anyone is there to see it. Gives a slanting upward access to the stream, which flows through 23. Got it. Any creature going down the stream will come out about a mile below this, steading in a small pond. So there we go. Pool of dark water. Just cool and wholesome, and that's where it goes. And then we did the cavern. Now we're looking at the storage room. Storage. And let's do the rest of these here real quick. Boom, boom. Stone giant miners. I knew there were stone giants in here somewhere. I forgot where they were. So they're up north. And then the 4 insane manticores and all the treasure. Miner treasure room. Chief's treasure room. And then the end. Okay. The storage room. This is area 24, just right up there. This area will house any ogres surviving from a burning of the upper level if applicable. Okay. The chamber is filled with scattered tools for digging and masonry. So we'll say that. Scattered tools for digging and masonry. Shovels, pickaxes, hammers, drills, chisels, baskets, so forth. Many sizes for giants, others for smaller creatures. A door to the north locked with a huge padlock. That'll go there. And this will be green. Where's the key to that padlock? Wine cellar. 25. There we go. The door of this room is also padlocked. In addition to several large casks, 11 big barrels, and some various kegs, there are 13 tons of exceptional wine stored here. Each is a bung seal with a blob of black wax impressed with a death's head. The wine is tasted. It is 75% probable that the taste will continue to quaff until a drunken stupor. 1 quart will make a giant reel, while a gill will make a human tipsy. It is the property of the creatures masterminding the attacks by the giants. A gift to the chief for his good services, but the party can at best guess at this fact. The wine is black, has a slightly earthy smell, and tastes like no other such drink. Has a market value of from 200 to 800 gold pieces per quart. There are 13 tons of it, 5 gallons each. How many? Internet, tell me how many quarts are in 5 gallon? No. Oh, it's going to be 65 gallons. Is it 4 quarts per gallon? Looks like it is 4 quarts per gallon. 260 quarts of the stuff. Times, looks like 500 gold pieces each. That is 130,000 gold pieces worth of treasure. Wow. Okay, so the door to this room is padlocked. I have to note that. Here we have several large casks, 11 big barrels, various kegs, 13 tons. Each has a blob. There are also 13 tons. The tons. Should we sell it by the ton? If they could, they get a ton out of here at 5 gallons. Ton of exceptional wine. I'm not, of course, going to keep that gold piece value. That's crazy. So you have 5 gallons times 4. It's 20 quarts times 500. That's 10,000 gold pieces. Ton of exceptional wine. Maybe 1,000 gold pieces. Well, let's put what the value is in the adventure. 10,000 times 13. So that's what the adventure has, and I'll adjust that as necessary. I don't think I've ever had a party walk out with this wine. And all the times I've run it, never had a group of adventurers come out of there with that. Anyone have that happen? That'd be crazy. That's a lot of treasure. Several large casks, 11 big barrels, some various kegs. There are also 13 tons of exceptional wine. 13 tons with bung seal with a blob of black wax impressed with the death's head. Not going to do the make you drunk thing. Unless that's magical. How big is a gill? Huh. It is the property of the creature's masterminding the attacks by the giants, a gift to the chief. So, this ton of exceptional wine in exceptional. In ton sealed by with blob black wax impressed with the death's head. So which of the drow houses has the death's head? That'd be something that you could go to a sage to try and figure out who is this from, who made this wine. Exceptional wine in tons sealed with blob of black wax impressed with the death's head. 10,000 gold, 13 of them. That should be it. Don't need all the rest of that. Okay, so that's the wine cellar, 25. 26. Does he have the death's head in those things? I don't know. He might. Let me zoom in on that. These maps I'm looking at, I'm using the maps by John Pintar. Doesn't show the death's head on the map. That would have been hard to see. Gallery under clearance, 26. Note that here and 27 will be the location of the giant surviving or burning the upper level of the steading. The north face of the area is being cleared and a few tools are in the area. The place is otherwise unremarkable and empty. That's all. And move this up to the top. Make it green. Another unlit and unremarkable place with a few tools left laying around. Quarters for stone giant miners, 28. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 beds for stone giant miners. 3 stone giants who are subordinates to the leader of the Great Hall. So they have... Okay, so the stone giant in the Great Hall, these report to him. Make this as their abode. Do the other stone giants above, are they living somewhere else, not here? I think so. There are piles of skins about. Let's take this down here. Piles of skins about. Cots, stools, tables, and several chests and sacks containing sacks, probably. Yeah. Sacks containing personal gear and sacks. These monsters are the master miners and engineers for all work in the dungeon. There are in the third chest opened. Ooh, that's a lot of gold. So search. Search. Chests. Containing personal gear. In third chest opened. 14,230 gold pieces. That is a fortune. Then we got 29 in empty chamber. Okay, so now we're into the treasure complex, 29 through 33. 29 is an empty chamber you'd come down to if you found the secret stairs from the council chamber of Nosnera. To come down into here, you have a secret door there. There must be portcullises here to 30, I'm sure. So 29, empty chamber. At first glance, the whole place will appear to be unused, but there will be a faint glint of light from the far wall, western wall. Was that the gleam of light reflected from a gem? Entering to see what the glitter was will reveal a pile of coffers. One tip so as to spill its contents of phony gems and jewelry. The dotted area to the east shows a spot where thick iron bars will drop on intruders. East. Okay, so you're going to come around the corner. The dotted area to the east shows the spot where thick iron bars will drop on intruders. See 30 and 32. 30 is prison. Let's read down to the prison because it's going to be kind of all built together into that. So oops, move the wrong one. Numbers. So then you come down to 30. This area holds 4 insane manticores. Caged here by Nosnera to guard his treasure. Bed, kitchen, garbage dump down a chute. So where is that chute? And where is this kitchen garbage coming from? So if these are the stairs in the upper level, they're in the pantry room. So somewhere in the kitchen, there's a chute that comes down. And how big is that chute? Is it big enough for the party to come down straight to this room? Don't think I've ever had a party do that. They are fed kitchen garbage dumped down a chute from above. But as a DM, you wouldn't know, right? You're trying to run this adventure and you don't know there's a chute in 18. But you do finally find it in 30, so there's probably no chance it ever came up. And the manticores are wild with rage at their captivity. They will insanely attack any creature if the opportunity presents itself. They will, you can stop there, any creature. Dun, 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 dun. The dotted areas to the north show where bars, the south line, and where others will drop the north line. After the monsters enter chamber 29, the bars which hold them imprisoned are thick and close set, so the manticores cannot fire their tail spikes through the gaps, but those bars which are to the north are not so closely set. See 32. Boy, it's kind of a mess here. Be good to get this sorted out. To the north. Okay, let's read 31, which is the minor treasure room down here. So the party might come in here, be attracted by a false illusion, I think, of treasure over here, be attacked by manticores that come from here. Bars could fall. Don't know when they'll fall. Treasure room here. Minor treasure room. And probably don't call it minor if for some reason the party hears that. They're like, where's the major treasure room? This place is a storage area for the excess coinage of the chief. There are 7 chests and some empty boxes the chests contain. So 7 chests and some empty boxes. 13,000 copper, 27,000 silver. Scything blade trap, which inflicts 2d12 hit point damage, chopping off a member on a score 20. That's not much damage, but that's bad. Electrum, which I don't use, so I'll change that to gold. Copper ingots, that's disappointing. empty 11 ivory tusks. That's not going to fit in the chest very well. That should be a prop against the wall. And then 980 gems. One gold piece value each. Poison needle, trap, and lock. Another in empty false bottom. Okay, now we got 32, the secret passage between the two rooms. This hidey hole is provided with spy holes for the chief so he can look out upon areas 1 or 29. When would he ever come here? Come down here from the kitchen, come down here from his chamber, come around the corner, go through the secret door, go there. Or if he comes running down from the kitchen, go through the secret door to there. Okay. This hidey hole is provided with spy holes for the chief so he can look out upon areas 1 or 29. There are also spy holes at about 5 feet high, which the hill giant has never noticed. I would not even have thought about the fact that the party would not see those spy holes up there. There are 3 levers on the west wall of the room. Each raises and lowers one set of bars, which are described at 28 and 29. Okay. So they're raised or lowered by the chief if he happens to get to 32. And right now they're raised, I think. Let's see. Let's do 30 again. 4 encaged man guards caged here to guard his treasure. Huh. So they're caged there behind 30. He could raise any one of the bars. Suddenly attack any creature. The dotted areas the north shore bars are the south line, and where others will drop the north line. Okay, so there are bars to the north. So the first set of bars is down. And where others will drop after the monsters enter chamber 29. Bars which hold them imprisoned are thick and close set, so the manticores cannot fire their tail spikes through the gaps. But those bars which are to the north are not so closely set. Okay. Man, those manticores are kind of just stuck there. If the party comes into 29, manticores are doomed. 29 again. The whole place is empty and unused, but there will be a faint glint of light from the far wall. Was that the gleam of light reflected from a gem? Entering to see what the glitter was will reveal a pile of coffers. One tip so as to spill its contents of phony gems and joy. The dotted area to the east shows the spot where thick iron bars will drop to trap the intruders. See 30 and 32. There's nothing that makes them drop just because you went in there. You'd think you could drop those, raise these, the manticores come out, intruders are captured. Okay, let's look at the chief's secret treasure room. Or no, let's describe these rooms here. And if we look in the adventure for this room, let's read the next room. 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, the chief's treasure room, the final treasure room, which is sitting behind a secret door that the party could just completely miss. A secret door in a hallway, those are often missed. The hidden pit with a snap-closed trapdoor cover has 4 iron spikes set into the floor, 10 feet below, and each one is poisoned. 50% chance to fall into the pit. Each person passing over the area checking a second line. Area checking, a second line having a 25% chance of falling if persons in the leading row drop into the pit. The room has various items which will immediately be noticed. A large chest. A small coffer. And a second small coffer. A large chest, iron box, small coffer, another small coffer. In addition, there are 3 empty and broken boxes. In the southeast corner is a broken barrel, what appears to be a broken barrel. Don't ever say what appears to be. In the southeast corner is a broken barrel. They weren't what appears to be large chests. The latter is an illusion, for it is actually a well-made and watertight cask which contains a map showing the glacial rift of the frost giant Jarl. So you get a map ready. And an obsidian box. In the obsidian box is a chain of weird black metal and instructions written in Hill Giant on a sheet of human skin. The instructions show that the chain is a magical device which is to be looped into a figure 8. Thus shaped, it will transport up to 6 in each loop. It will transport up to 6 persons in each circle. Got it. To the glacial rift. If one of their number holds the map. Okay, then that's separate. Large growth of yellow mold. Covers the southwest corner of the room. This is another illusion hiding the following items hung up on the wall. So all this can be done with that picture there too. We can throw that picture that is in there into the dungeon. A quiver of 11. 11 plus 2 magic arrows. Plus 3 magic spear. 2 flaming swords. Wow, nice. Both intelligent. Nice. Flaming sword and flaming sword. Oh wow, look at, we got some costs for some of the stuff back when this adventure first came out. This adventure, Steading of the Hill Giant Chief in whatever year this was, around 1980, was $4.50. It's only 8 pages long. G2 was $4.50. G3, which is double their length, I think 16 pages long, was $5. And then Descent 1, which is very short, I'm sure, $5. Descent 2, $5. Vault of the Drow, $6. That's funny to see all those old-time costs. Okay, so we got the first cut at what all is in here. A lot of gold at the end here. A bunch of portcullises that really aren't going to probably be used at all. Somehow the party's going to have to find the Secret Area 32 to raise the portcullis to get to the manticores, but in the meantime, they might be able to kill the manticores without getting near them. And then there's nothing going to drop the portcullises. I'll trap them in 29 unless there's giants still around. And then they may or may not ever find 33, which is what they have to find to get to the glacial rift of the frost giant Jarl. Do they have to find that to know that the frost giants are involved? The other way could be, so if they never find that, they can find out what that special wine was in the wine cellar, or they have to basically go all the way back to the upper level in the small dining area, off to the side, the scroll tube concealed under the logs, sealed and marked with a triangle containing a Y, set of instructions and giant on the next raid and engage to Glavdra. Plans for the steading top level. So could those set of instructions also provide them indication that the frost giants are involved? Like this next raid is going to include help from frost giants. That'd be another way that party could get wind of the frost giant involvement. Otherwise, it could just be the party thinks they're done. They've checked the giants. They return, and now a raid comes from into the Yeomanry from the Crystal Mist Mountains, from frost giants, even worse than the hill giants have been raiding before, and the party's sent after them. So lots of ways for them to get to the next adventure. Now let's look at creatures in this level. Let's populate the dungeon with these creatures, and I'll kind of tweak the numbers as we go here. So let me move this off to the side. And let's go back to Sharon. Oh, Adam. Party has to sneak around and enlist the orcs, then attack. Yes. That would be much, much better chance of surviving than going and fighting the giants by themselves. I'm hoping to run this again. If so, the hill giants will have an army of gnolls and ogres. Yeah, they have ogres, right? And they have bugbears below. I want to tie in the liberation of Goth into the giant series, but I don't know how to fit it in yet. Are you familiar with the Night Below? Yeah. Yes, I ran the Night Below. That's a cool adventure. I'm linking it up with Keep on the Borderlands as well as against the Cult of the Reptile God. That sounds cool. I just ran Keep on the Borderlands. A lot of fun. Just ran that one. Okay, so now we're going to go back to the map. Hope you're all having a good Sunday morning. I like to prepare things early in the mornings. On the weekends, family's usually sleeping. Nothing started for the day yet. I don't want that. Share. There we go. There we go. Okay. So let's populate this place. See what it looks like. Some creatures in it. In area 1, no one in area 2. We got the Keeper, a hill giant. Let's grab one of our hill giants from over here. This guy's grizzly looking, so I'll find a better mini for him for sure. Got your hill giant. Got some carnivorous apes. What if I have apes over here? What? Maybe gorilla? Can't believe I don't have any gorillas. Or even apes besides a giant ape. That's surprising. Well, we'll bring a giant ape over and I'll update those guys later. Man, if you've ever been to the zoo and you've ever seen a silverback gorilla, I cannot imagine fighting one of those things. They have 29 hit points compared to the Keeper's 49 hit points. They're strong. That's going to be a tough fight. Keeper's got a +3 battle axe in there. That's a nice treasure. So those two, you got those two. Then you got 3 here with a couple of bugbear guards. Oh, now if I'm changing the quantities, there's only going to be 1 ape, right? Since the party's 5 characters and not 9. But I'm going to keep the Keeper. And then I'll have 1 bugbear guard. Bugbears. There we go. So bugbears and yeah, because I ran Keep on the Borderlands, so I already did them for D20 play. 1 bugbear there. In the cell blocks, we got a merchant, we got a prisoner, elven match user. Just use this art shell for now. Elven match user, the middle one. Commoners for the other one. And 1 and 2. So commoner there, commoner here, elf here. And then 3 skeletons here. And that's such a not a trap. Skeleton. 1, 2, 3. And the very last chamber is 5 captured orcs. These guys are not going to be as well equipped as the orc mini that I have, so I'll have to find a new one of these. Oh, and it didn't quite draw out the way it is in the dungeon, where it's got like the whole end of that chamber is partitioned off. That'd be easy for me to fix, but at the same time, I also need to reduce numbers of things. So it'll be 3 orcs in there. 2 skeletons instead of 3, and all the rest is good. Okay, then we got bugbears. Copy that guy. In room 4, there's supposed to be 12. So if I look at my numbers here, 12 would be 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Area 5, no. Oops. Area 5 has 12 bugbears asleep, so there's 7 bugbears sleeping. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Area 6 has 7 bugbears sleeping. Look how many bugbears there are. It's 4, 5, 6, 7. Area 7 has a bugbear chief and 4 bugbears, so that'll become 2 bugbears and a chief. And they're going to be involved right away. I mean, as soon as a fight happens in 4, they'll come running down. They'll wake up all these other bugbears. It'll get hairy quick. Any fighting here. And the bugbear chief. Bugbear chieftain. I'll use this mini for now. There's that. And then we got 6 bugbears down here. That's going to be 3, I believe, or 4. 6 should be 3. 1 watching, and then 2 in the chamber. That's that. And now we have a whole bunch of orcs in 9, 10, 11. Again, they won't be armed anywhere like those, so we'll get new minis for them figured out. 30, 24, 24, 30, 24. Wow. All right. So I need 24 and 30. 24 is 13. And 30 is 17. There's 13 there. $13 there, and then 17 here. It's 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. There's a whole bunch of orc slaves, 9, 10, 11. Then we got some bugbear guards over here guarding. There should be, we'll do 2 guards. There's 1 each place in the original adventure. And then we got some orcs in area 12 and really 48. Holy mackerel. 48, 24, and 16. So 48 is 26. 24 is 13, and 16 is 9. Okay, so 26 orc. 26 orcs. And then 16, 24 and 16. So 24 is 13. 12, 13. And 16 is 9. That's a whole army of orcs there. Look how many orcs the party could get. And that's like half of what was in the original adventure. Half the bugbears from the original adventure. This place is just packed. It must reek of bugbear and orc. Adam just got off work. Yeah, I'm fortunate not to have to work Saturday and Sunday. Okay, now we're going to get to the torture chamber. Got a couple of hill giants in there. Grab my generic hill giant for now. That's 15. Torture chamber should be 2, so it'll be just 1. 1 giant there. And then 16 is going to have 2 fire giants. There'll be 1 fire giant. I do not have any minis for that yet. Giant fire. Well, I do actually. See if one of these is one of the big ones. Well, it's huge. That's a huge one. Do that for now. 1 giant, he's got kind of an alarm system set up there. Maybe he's by the bellows. Hammering, he's going to come around and attack the party if they attack. Come in there. And he's got 7 dwarves chained up. Forced to labor making weapons. So dwarf commoner. Yeah, commoner dwarf. Where are they chained up at? They rise and shout to fight. 7 dwarves chained there. Bellows. Okay, so the dwarves are chained over here. There'll be 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 will be shoveling. 1 will be doing the bellows. 1 will be hammering, and 1 will be at the workbench. Okay, then we have the secret temple with no one in there. No denizens in there. Then we have a whole bunch of orcs. 78 orcs. Wow. 1 will be 12 elite orcs, or 12 orc champions, 1 orc chieftain. 78, what's that become? $78 times 0.55 equals 43. 43 total orcs living in these caverns. There's 30 so far. Now, see, we got troglodytes to the north. I need to make sure I have some orcs standing guard at a few places. If I look at the steading map, this one over here, share this instead. So we should have some guards by the trogs, a couple guards over there, guard by that door, so 4 total out on guard. And does G indicate more than 1? Key to the dungeon level. G. Post for rebel orc guards. Doesn't say, so I might have 2 in each. So here I am sitting at 30 total. 2 guards here, 2 guards here, 2 guards here, maybe 1 guard there. Nothing's happened there for a while. So now I'm up to 36, 37. So 6 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'll mess them around and put them in different locations. But there you go. There is the all the orcs you can free. These ones won't really fight for you. These ones will fight really well. These ones are medium morale. Quite an army of orcs. If you can get somehow to the orcs, you don't, I mean, think of how you would have to explore this, right? You come in here, you don't want to fight the bugbears. Not without getting the orcs on your side, because then they could just, as a wave, go through those bugbears. And this could be a pretty fun fight, but kind of boring for the players, and the players aren't involved. So you can give the players a lot of control over the orcs. I need to put some orc chieftains in here. I'm glad I'm running this at half the numbers, because it'd be just way too many for this size dungeon if I wasn't running half the numbers. Got one hill giant, one fire giant, some bugbears, and they are surrounded by this army of orcs that, if they get loose, is trouble. Okay, so there's the orcs. Now we got some troglodytes. How many troglodytes? I'm not going to do females and young. I'm just going to call them all troglodytes. But I'll say count half the number of females. So 20 plus 6.5 times 0.55. So 16 troglodytes in total. That'll be in that northern cavern. And I already got some D20 plague troglodytes. Awesome. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12. Did I say 13? 13, I think so. 26.5 times 0.55. 15. 2 more. 13, 14, 15. They should be guarding against the lizards. Watching here and here and here. Guarding against the orcs there. Boy, they got it tough. Maybe some foraging for some food, some getting some water. They are not big on numbers, that's for sure. There's the trogs. Now we got some giant lizards. Don't think I have a giant lizard. So again, not bothering with young and such. I got 2 giants plus 2 more young, 4. So 2 big giant lizards there. Lizard giant subterranean. Ooh, that's a good looking guy. I like him. There we go. 2 giant subterranean lizards. That'll be awesome. Oh, carrion crawlers. I call them carrion centipedes, or death centipedes. Centipede carrion, there we go. Cavern of the carrion crawlers. There's 2 here normally. And they should be large. In the northeast finger, okay, so there's 1 there. And more will enter the party explorers. 24 is storage, 25 is storage. No one up there unless the giants have fled. And then 3 stone giants, so that'll be 2 stone giants here. Grab a stone giant from the upper level. These chairs look overly small for giants. 2 stone giants. Insane manticores. Be 2 of those. I thought I'd seen a picture of that before. I need to grab some pictures, throw them on there. That's it. That is it. Okay, so let's look at this overall. There are very few giants down here. A fire, 2 stone, a hill, another hill. So 5 giants total, a couple manticores, a whole bunch of bugbears, and then all these hostile orcs that they're holding at bay. and have captured many of them and use them as slave labor. Many have got away and are dwelling out there. That's cool. Carrion crawler chamber that party may never get to. Two ways to get there: from the cistern, from this river, which will continue to that river, maybe down a sinkhole anywhere, and then back to there. Let's look at how that Greyhawk Grognard did those levels here. Here we go. Show this one. So now there's carrion crawlers. There should be a lot of them, right? Because they come and go from above. Cave crickets, carrion crawlers, violet fungus, myconids, rebel orc undercave. All right, so you hit down from the temple, then various sinkholes will come down to all these caverns and kind of connect them all. And this would let you get into the carrion cave. What's 14 all the way in the northeast there? Ooh, cave egg chamber of the carrion crawlers. Yeah. That's kind of fun. This is a fun little level here. Make this so you guys can read it. Some myconids live there. I might remove the myconids. A green Johnny. What's a green Johnny? Green Johnny, very rare. Type of carnivorous mobile fungus. Huh. Cool. All right, back to the map. What else do I want to do? Pictures. Bringing out some pictures. So let's grab. Where would I have that? Definitely want to grab the map of the world and bring that in. Zoom in here on the yeomanry. That'd be fun to bring in, and maybe even a little bit further zoomed out. I might zoom it out a little bit so I can see the name of the Crystal Mist Mountains there. I don't know why I can't zoom it out here I got like 2 settings I can use. So I'll do that later. For now, I'm on the token layer, so I'm going to bring in a couple pictures of the steading from a couple different angles, depending on which angle the party's going to come at it from. So there's a nice picture of the steading. This picture, like this one of the steading too. So the party can look at it from, their secret cave that they approach it from. And depending on where I'll have to pick one of these to have their vantage point from the secret cave. Maybe this one, although this is passageway heading right to it, so that isn't necessarily too secret. Then if they circle around, show them this one so they can see what the guard tower looks like and the entrance looks like over there. Lots of different ways into this place for sure. So there's that. And then the giant bags. This area, fun picture here. And I'll move these out of the way later. The kitchen. Picture the kitchen here. And then Picture Nasra fighting adventurers. When I ran this first time, I had all these rules. Quick reference, for the party on how they might climb on or under furniture and give them, basically advantage or some sort of advantage against the giants, right? If they're underneath the furniture, it might be hard for the giants to hit them. But they wouldn't have to be like prone or anything to do that. They'd just walk underneath it. What else we got? In the lower levels. Got a picture here of the carrion crawlers. Cavern. Oop, that didn't go. Try again. Oh, and then we got a picture of the chief's room. Not the chief's room, but the big common room here, which has all the shields and has the skull up on the mantle. There. And then down here, if they find the secret treasure room, that. Broken boxes, chest, broken barrel, small chest. Does that match the description of that room? There's a pit right in the front there. Large chest, iron box, small coffer, small coffer. Yep, that's those 4 things. Some broken boxes and such. 3 empty and broken boxes. In the southeast corner, southwest in this room, a broken barrel. That's an illusion. And then in the large growth covers the southwest corner. So those are just reversed. Growth would be over here. There you go. Of yellow mold. So I think that's it. I'm looking forward to running this. It's such a dynamic adventure, and this is the type of adventures I really like, where there's just an epic sight with a lot going on, a lot the party can turn to their advantage and into their favor. If they just blindly go at it and fight everything, they probably won't succeed. But if they use their wit and sneak around and engage the different factions in the place to join their side, they could steamroll it. They can get to the orcs and free all the orcs. Those orcs would just steamroll those giants, or at least give the party a fighting chance. What about the cloud giant? Emissary from, he's got a good sword. So what is his story? I have to figure that out. Let's see what it is in the dungeon. Share this tab. Major quests. Find the hidden strongholds. Rescue Xander. So there could be one of the people down below. The merchant, for example. Find the abandoned temple. Yeah, so what's this old dungeon complex? And free dwarven slaves. Got that. Giant reinforcements can come. I like the steading hunters. The party could get captured and thrown where? The entire party is wiped out. This is always a good thing to have in mind when you're running an adventure. What will Nazra want to do with the captured party? At your discretion, the characters can be stripped of their gear and hauled off to the dungeon cell block for safekeeping until Nazra figures out what to do with them. Probably be eaten, ransom them, slave labor. Stolen gear kept in 7B. Or 7B. Must be in the dungeons. 7A, 7B. Ooh, the keepers got it. Not good for them. Yeah, so that's a good thing to keep in mind. Now, who is in that great hall? Hall of the Chief. Dire Bear, the Chief. Stone Giant, just the Stone Giant Emissary. The Cloud Giant's not in this one. Yeah, so that Cloud Giant, I think, would be inclined not to fight. Say the party comes in there, guns a-blazing. Would that Cloud Giant just kind of back out of the fight? I would think so. It has no skin in this game yet. It's got a good sword. It might be neutral in alignment, possibly. A couple Stone Giants there. They're close to the king because they're working with them already. And if I play this with the Stone Giant Stronghold, that makes sense. So that's good. Pretty good shape, really. What other things? So the party can find out the wine barrels, the instructions in 33, the instructions in 10, all could lead them to the next adventure. All right. Well, that's it. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'm going to run this adventure, and I'll post the video of us playing the adventure sometime late next weekend or early the week after. And then this week, Tuesday, I'm playing the Devoured Labyrinth adventure. Let's take a quick peek at that. It's a cool looking adventure. 3 Demon Cave. Don't look if you're playing. Nice little site here. All these Dyson Logos maps are fantastic. And you can even grab some of the Dyson Logos maps that are redone by Heroic Maps in color. And those are fantastic. This map's interesting. It looks like it might have been intended to be a forest, but in this adventure it's being used as a cave. It's like this is a clearing in a forest, but it's a cave. First level characters, D20 play RPG, going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that. That'll be up later this week for your viewing pleasure. All right. Goodbye, everyone. Have a good day.